Be a Photographer Challenge number 3. We have song lyrics. And song lyrics are pretty open-ended. You can really do whatever you want with them. And I told people, if you're having a hard time, maybe figure out your photo first and then add some lyrics to it, because sometimes it's easier to do it that way. And let's be honest, there are lyrics for just about everything. There are hundreds of thousands of songs, so you can always match your lyrics to your photo. I don't know, I like these submissions a lot because they were all over the place. So to choose for this one, before I was like scrolling through, kind of finding ones that caught my eye. But for this one, I literally just scrolled through with my eyes squinted just this much, so I could barely see what I was looking at, just enough to see the shape. And I was just clicking on random things and selecting those photos to critique. So here I have about 8 photos, and I'm going to show you, what I like about them, what I don't like, what I think can be improved, and hopefully you can learn something from this. There's an alarm going off in the background. Let's wait for it to go by. Here are all the entries for this one. You can see them all really quick. Yeah. All the entries for song lyrics, there's about 1,000. Thanks for entering, yeah. Alright, so first off we have Tasmin. And Tasmin chose to photograph a fence, and the lyrics are, floating flocks of candled swans slowly drift across wax ponds. And it's a song by Panic at the Disco called Behind the Sea. And I think this photo is great. It's exactly what she wants it to be. It's a photo of a fence with an out of focus green area and blue water area behind it. And it looks great. There was a little bit of constructive criticism I have for this. I do like how your horizon right here is straight. You can see how it's straight, even though the fence might be a little bit off, her horizon is straight, and that's what's important. However, I don't like the crop. I really don't like this area up here. I wish you'd cut it off just a little bit lower. And I know it's not perfect because the fence is a little bit slanted, but that's my main concern. I like the tones. I like how it's desaturated. I like how it's kind of earthy tones. And I think you did a good job with your photograph. So good job. Next we have Facia. And of course I'm going to butcher everyone's names because I just don't know how to say them. But I'm trying my best. And I apologize. I know in some other videos I even messed up the gender of some people. And I apologize about that too. It's not intentional. I'm just doing my best here. It's not malicious. And I apologize in advance for anything I get wrong. I don't mean to offend anyone. I'm just doing my best to, critique photos. So thanks for being understanding. But this one I like, and you can take a little more of a literal approach to some of these challenges. Song lyrics, you can literally photograph the song lyrics. But one way to do it would be to write it down, photograph it. Maybe that's just like a snapshot. And this, however, I think is taken more into a photograph. She really thought about it, and she made it look, a little more artsy. So the lyrics are, save your breath, you can talk at me, but I'm not listening. And it's a 5 Seconds of Summer song. And I like how you wrote it down on a piece of paper, held it up, and it's backlit, so the paper is kind of see-through. Very nicely positioned, focused, everything is sharp. And I don't know what camera you took this with. Did I ask? I asked, but I don't think... Let's refresh this. Let's see if you responded yet. She didn't say what she took it with, but I couldn't tell if it was an iPhone or a DSLR, which is probably a good thing. But it looks great, and I think you did a really good job. I would play around with the tones a little bit. I don't really like the yellow, but that involves some post-processing. Other than that, perfect. And good use on making the red for the word not, because it kind of, makes it stand out a little bit. So good job. Okay, so this is James Schumark, and James did kind of a little bit of a edit here, but I love this. And it's Peace Will Win, Fear Will Lose, and it's a 21 Pilots song. And a lot of people are saying how relevant it is in the world right now, and I totally agree with that. The world is hurting, and even if it's not hurting more, we are at least more aware of the hurt that has always been there, and it's affecting all of us. This was done with a trick that I really like, and you basically put your camera on a tripod and take 2 photos, lay them on top of each other, and get rid of half of each of them. And the only important part is that you don't move your camera, and James here did a great job. And I'm assuming that it's not an identical twin, and if it is, holy wow, you guys look very identical. But I like this shot. I like that it's black and white. I like how you printed or drew those letters. I think it's printed because those L's look identical. If you wrote it, props to you. But this is shot with a Nikon camera and a Sigma lens, and I think you did a good job. Maybe not as dark in the blacks right here, but it looks like it was sunny out, so you might have had not that much control. but good job, James. So this is Taio, and he took a photo, and the lyric of these pills, and the lyrics are, I was confused by the powers that be, forgetting names and faces, passers-by were looking at me as if they could erase it. This song is called Meds, and it's by Placebo, and I picked this photograph because I think it's very simple, but very effective also, and I like that it's really kind of almost desaturated, and it kind of makes me feel how I feel about pills, is where I don't really like them very much, and it's a little bit depressing, sad, and I think it's good. Pills for me represent a time in my life that was more rough. Maybe for other people it was a little bit difficult as well. But they're usually used when you're hurting, either mentally or you're ill. And I like how that's all there is in this photo. There's a nice depth of field. Maybe it's an blur he applied after, or maybe it was done in camera. But you can see how some of these are out of focus. And the sharpest area is right in the middle here. So I think this looks cool. You did a good job of taking something simple and really making a photograph out of it. So well done, Taio. This is done by CAR42 or Caroline. And Caroline, the song lyrics are, when I look in her eyes, I just see the skies. And this is a Panic at the Disco song called She Had the World. And this was shot with an iPhone, which I think is a very cool thing because 10 years ago, you could not do this with a mobile camera at all. Like, this is macro photography. So basically, you're holding your iPhone very close to whatever you're taking a photo of, and you're getting a nice depth of field. So you can see how it's sharp right here, out of focus over here, and I think this is a great shot. I'm not sure I like this massive border. I wish you just made the eye the whole thing, but maybe it's part of your theme on your page. I haven't actually looked on the whole page, but you did a good job. The colors are nice, the framing is nice, the sharpness is perfect, and I think it's an overall just great photo. It could almost be a stock photo, so used in ads or something. It's so perfect. Here we have Ninja 000 and song lyrics, but you don't know what it's like to wake up in the middle of the night scaring away the thought of kissing razors. And it's Stay Away From My Friends by Pierce LaVille. And I think this is cool because it makes me feel how I think you want me to feel, which is, it's kind of sad, kind of lonely, kind of depressed. You're obviously in a bathroom. It's black and white, head down. You're huddled there alone, and it just looks alone. And I like the lighting. I like the framing. All your lines are straight. Your horizon's straight. So technically, it's a spot-on photo. Illustrates the lyrics. I really have nothing. If I could try to, like I say, nitpick at it and find something wrong with it, I guess I would say, I don't know. Maybe make the whites a little bit brighter so that some areas stand out, like around you, but maybe it's intentional. So this looks great. Good job. Lauren Marie, this is a little bit more conceptual. And let's see, the lyrics are 21 Pilots. 3 lights are lit, but the 4th one's out. I can't tell because it's a bit darker than the last night's bout. I forget about the drought of light bulbs in this house, so I head down the route I think is heading south. They have good lyrics. I like this because it's a concept. And when I started photography, I definitely tried to do a lot of concepts, and they're harder. They show a little bit more effort. I think on one hand, I think it's serious, but on the other hand, it almost makes me laugh too, because if you would have seen this and not known our concept or the lyrics, you'd just be like, why is that lady wearing a lamp on her head? And you actually remind me, I'm not kidding, one time outside of a Starbucks, I saw a man wearing one of these as a hat. He was just sitting there drinking the coffee, wearing a lampshade. And I was like, that's tricky. But this is cool. I like your concept. I like that it literally illustrates what the lyrics are. Horizon, it looks pretty straight, and you did a good job exposing the photo. I were to change anything, I think it would be to just play with the tones a little bit. It's a little dark everywhere, and I want to see a little bit more of what's in those shadows. Brighten them up, add some color to it, sharpen a little bit, something like that. But that's on post-processing, so I'm just assuming people know how to post-process, and maybe they don't. So this is good. I like it, and I love 21 Pilots, so good job. Good job, Lauren Marie. Ashley, you're last, and I like this photo because, well, it's a simple concept, photographed very nicely, and it's very aesthetically pleasing. And I think that's what makes a good photo, is if you can see something that's very normal, very accessible to everyone, and with your eye and your camera, you can turn it into something beautiful. And you did that here. And I'm sorry if I'm shaking the camera. Stop. My elbow's here. I'm just hitting around. But Ashley, let's see. Song lyrics. Well, I'm so tired of the rain, falling softly to the ground, just enough to get my feet wet, but not enough to let me drown. And that is Drown My Front Porch Step. I love that song. And this is a great photo. So critiquing. Framing-wise, perfect. Everything looks spot on. You have rule of thirds going on here. The only thing I don't like is this red car. It's so distracting. It's not relevant to lyrics, so I'm assuming it was just there. If you would have moved your camera a little bit to the left, you would have gotten rid of it. And just pivot your feet a little bit so they're the same angle. And then, or you could just desaturate the red or change it to another color. But I think maybe taking a look at your photo after you take the picture on your camera, just thinking, all right, pretend I don't know I'm just a random person looking at this photo. What am I going to see first? You're going to see the red car. And that's something you have to take into consideration. You know, not everybody's looking at this with the story or the knowledge you know that you went into making this. They're just looking at it without knowing anything. So you have to make sure that what you're delivering to them is what you want them to see. And make sure you get rid of distractions. But good job. Well done, everyone on the entries. Thank you so much. The next competition is Human Hands, which is actually already over by the time I'm recording this because I'm a bit behind. But I'm going to go ahead and have that up as well very soon. So thanks for everything. Go ahead and let Ashley know. She is Cinematic Ashley on Instagram. But she won! Yay! Everybody go tell her congrats. This is a great community. Everybody's encouraging each other, shooting, learning, becoming friends. And hopefully you guys can carry on your photography even outside of these challenges. But that's all I got for you, so have a good one. I just stopped the recording and then I came back and I went, oh crap, I forgot to tell Ashley her prize. You get one of these awesome lens bracelets, just like this. Goes on your wrist. It just looks like a lens. I wear it everywhere. Some of my photographer friends wear it everywhere. If you ever order merch from me, you get one as well. So you get that. And you're going to get one of those nice little lapel pins for the Be a Photographer logo. So, congrats.